Hi, welcome everyone. We're back. It's been a little while since I've streamed. Um, how you doing, Yek?
Good.
As you can see
Absolutely wonderful.
as you can see in my stream, I have done things to my hair. I've cut it, and I cut it today. I'm feeling very happy about it. Emily likes it a lot, so who am I to disagree with my lady? Um, so yeah, it's been a little while. Seeker just started playing squad. Well, if you are able later, please do come join. Okay,
I'll be joining your squad in spirit.
I know. You do a lot of things in spirit here in my channel,
Yes, it's true.
and I appreciate every single one of them.
We're very spiritual people here.
Oh, absolutely. Um, I also got a new camera, new keyboard.
Oh, good.
Um, so you're asking me how Florida went, and I gotta tell you, man, it was okay. So we got free tickets to go to Universal, and that was incredible.
Mhm.
It was me, Emily, my father-in-law, and my mother-in-law, and they're incredible people. They're phenomenal. We
Of
got
course.
in free thanks to family friends. I'm not going to name them because I don't know if it's wrong or bad if I name them.
No, that's fine. Yeah, it's fine.
But they're incredible people. They know who they are if they ever watch this. So thank you so much for an incredible opportunity, and I really appreciate it. Um, Gotta tell you, man, the trip, apart from the fun that we had, was very eye-opening in terms of like two things. One, the fact that the planet is dying and it is it's undisputable. Like there's no way to dispute the fact that the planet is dying. Because I'll tell you, I come from a tropical country and I've never felt heat the way that I've felt in Florida. Now, here's the thing.
Yeah, it's a special kind of heat.
Because here's the thing, right? I have felt higher temperatures before in Brazil. I have never felt oppressive atmosphere heat the way that I felt in Florida because the the heat index, right? The feels like was 106 degrees.
Yep.
And in Celsius, let me check that. 106 FC, that's 41 degrees Celsius, right?
Hmm.
In Brazil, I have felt 113 Fahrenheit. That's 45 degrees Celsius. You do 113 Fahrenheit minus 32 times 5 over 9, and then you get 45 degrees. Um, this might seem like such a conspiracy theory when I say it. I feel like there's a hole in the ozone layer above America that nobody talks about. And I'm not joking about this.
It's
That
yeah, no,
nobody
it's
fucking
all the
talks about.
aerosol cans. We were just spraying like air horns and stuff that it just created a personal like UV ray like death beam down on
I
America,
would not be surprised if in like
specifically
five
Florida.
if in 5 years people are like, no, the ozone layer above America is severely damaged, right? I don't even know if that's possible, but if it is possible, I would not be surprised. Um,
Yeah, no, I can relate to that because I used to live in Hawaii and there's like a humid temperature
yep.
and it can get really hot.
So
Especially during the summer, I was like sleeping in 90-degree weather, but it felt like 110.
yeah, I've never felt heat like that. Now,
No, yeah.
here's the terrifying part, right? Because heat is one thing. Dealing with heat in the summer is one thing. There was a pool at the resort, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know why I started chewing gum. That was a terrible idea. Um, there's a pool at the resort, and the water was, lukewarm to warm, to be expected from a pool at a resort, right? Um, Emmy insisted that we go to the ocean, to the sea. We went to New Smyrna, which is a beach to the east of Orlando, if I'm not mistaken.
Right, right.
And if you know me, you know I have thalassophobia. I am terrified of the ocean.
I
I'm
didn't know that. So.
okay. Well, there you go. I am terrified of deep water, especially when I can't touch the bottom and I can't see what's around me. Um,
Okay.
I have severe anxiety that comes with that, and it's stronger than I am. I rationally I
Oh man,
know
going
that
to Hawaii must be like a nightmare for you then.
I will
Jesus,
only
that's so
go to
scary.
Hawaii when the exploitative tourism is done. I will never visit Hawaii before that.
I used to partake in the exploitative tourism.
Yeah,
I had to do the hustle.
I but you're from there,
Yeah,
you
no,
know,
no. Here's the thing. I grew there. They flew there. So yeah,
right? And like I understand, like you got to do what you got to do to survive, but I am not going to support that personally.
yeah.
Um,
I
I'm
mean,
a
you could just do
foreigner.
like Airbnb from. I remember one of my friends. He's actually part Puerto Rican, part like native islander. And they do like Airbnb stuff. So
Right.
if you don't want to like go to a resort or something, you can just get like an Airbnb and like directly.
I don't know, man. I just can't in good conscience
There are
do
ways
it.
around it.
You know, like I don't know. I feel very icky about it. Um,
Yeah, you don't have to go. I usually go to Hawaii for like sentimental reasons,
sure,
obviously.
you're from there. But the thing for me, anyway, I have this severe anxiety, the severe physical reaction to being in water like that. If it's a pool, don't care. I'm vibing. I'm having a great time. I have a pina colada in my hand. Don't care.
Yep.
But when it's the ocean or a river or a lake, you know, it's stronger than I am. I start hyperventilating. My heart rate explodes. I start sweating. It's not a good
Yeah.
time, right?
I probably shouldn't tell you the story of how I accidentally got swept out into deep ocean then.
Well, here's the thing. That has happened to me before,
Yeah.
you know, so I get it.
Oh,
I know
yeah.
how it goes. Also, I got two messages in my chat, but I couldn't read them. I don't know what
True.
just
Oh, is
happened.
this YouTube or Twitch?
Maybe, but it's just not
No, is it YouTube or Twitch in
both.
chat?
Both.
Both.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I'm both on YouTube and
Strange.
on Twitch. But I don't know, maybe uh I don't know. If you sent a message on in chat, just send it again cuz I couldn't read it. Anyway, um last year, New Year's Eve, I was in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, for the New Year's. And
Right.
I specifically got in the ocean in order to um oh, I just got real orange for a second here. I got to fix that.
Turn those lights off.
There we go. Oh my god, that's like stupid orange. Hold on. Is there like a filter in my on my camera? There is. Okay.
Really holding my tongue on the
Uh,
Donald Trump jokes.
Oh
Okay,
boy.
we're gonna keep going.
There we go. I
Just
think this
just
is
keep it going.
better, I think. Anyway,
Yeah.
um while in Rio, I specifically went into the water with two great friends of mine, Lola and Ricky. They're a couple. Lola and I have known each other since 1998. There are pictures of baby us. Our families have been
Oh
friends
wow.
forever. Um, and I was like, hey, Emily loves the ocean. And I know that the next time that I go, it's probably going to be in the summer. And I know she's going to want me to go into the water. And I want to give her the the experience of being in the ocean, which is her favorite thing in the universe, with me. Oh, Phantom Shogun, yo, got Baldur's Gate 3 rot sick. Okay, now I can see that, which is so weird because I couldn't see it before. Anyway, um, and I was like, hey, I really want to get in the ocean. I need to be able to give Emily this, and they were like, okay, no worries, we'll take care of you. And I went in, did my best, right? Still got, still had the physical reaction and whatnot, but I did it to sort of acclimate. Fast forward to last week. We
Hmm.
get to the edge of the water, and she immediately she has a swimsuit underneath. She immediately just takes her clothes off. She's like, "All right, let's go to the water." And I was like, "Okay, cool." We stop at the like on the sand, and we're ready to go.
Mhm.
When I tell you that the ocean water, okay, you've
Cruel mistress of the sea
no,
was
no,
just
you
bearing down on you.
no, it's not that. Okay, so you've been in the ocean several times, being from Hawaii,
Yeah, of course.
right?
Mhm.
No matter how warm the water was, you know, it's always refreshing, right?
Yeah.
Even no matter how hot it gets, it's refreshing because it's still cold, and sometimes it can get frigid, right? And it's horrible. When I tell you that the water of the ocean was warmer than the water in the pool of the resort that is heated, I'm being serious.
Yeah,
100%
no.
serious.
I've experienced that before, yeah.
It was hot tub temperature. And
No, Ala Moana would have like pools, like little, not like pools, but you know, like little isolated pockets of ocean that you could like go in, and it would be like hot tub
it was
levels.
terrifying.
Hot.
It was terrifying. You want to know why? No, but it's not even like my fear of water. It's just like this is a dead
Oh my god, I'm
this
gonna
is
get,
a dead ecosystem. This is a dead
no, it's like, I'm
ecosystem.
gonna get boiled alive. Like that's what's gonna happen.
Right, but it's just like this is a dead ecosystem. Nothing can survive in here. If 1 degree of heat can already change so much about, fish physiology and kill entire colonies of fish and coral and whatnot, that is unsustainable, dude. I was less scared of the ocean. My thalassophobia gave way to my existential dread, and I was able to have fun in the water.
Yay!
It was
I
it
mean,
was
for
so
heat,
unnerving, so unnerving.
yeah, for heat, it's like yes and no. How coral survives and coral reef survives is two things: water temperature and salinity.
Right.
And these things can be like very elastic. There's like a range that temperatures can be in. However, there's a shorter range of salinity. So salinity is actually like, or how much salt content is in
Yes,
the
yes.
water is actually a bigger thing to worry about than the temperature. Uh, but yeah, I actually saw in my old stomping grounds in Hawaii, and this was back in like 2019, that the corals were actually starting to bleach out. Which is bad news. However, bleaching can be 100% reversed,
Right.
which is good. So there is
It
time.
is good. It is good, but it's also like I don't know, man. There was an existential dread that I felt in that water that I haven't felt ever before. Ever.
Right.
Ever
Oh,
before.
that's crazy.
It was the most terrifying thing I've ever been in.
Yeah. Before I go, I actually, you and my cousin
Hmm.
were both at Florida at the same time.
I found
I
out that
really
a
hope
buddy
you
of
guys.
mine, Key Rock, Mr. Key Rock, he was in Florida literally the same time that I was, and he sent me a message as I was coming back. I
Where
was
you at?
I was in the car, driving back to Pennsylvania, and he's like,
Yeah.
"Dude, the fuck do you mean you're in Florida?" I was like, "I was," and he's like, "Fuck, we could have hung out." I was like, "Weren't you there with your kids?" And he's like, "Yeah."
No,
No, but
I pray that you didn't come into the vicinity of my cousin because she has gotten COVID like 6 times
oh,
already.
I think Emmy and I must have caught it. Um,
No, you're. I'm not. I love my cousin, but she is like a COVID magnet.
right,
It follows her wherever she goes.
right. No, I'm pretty I'm
Every
pretty
single outing
sure
she has. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I caught it, which is why I'm
Rip.
isolating. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like Emily hates me because of this. I have a what's called a third world immune system, and this was told to me not by a friend but by a doctor.
This is the first time I'm hearing of this.
So, as you know, I lived in LA for 4 years,
Mm-hmm. Right.
and this was back in from 2015 to 2019. And when I lived there, I got sick a total of 3 times. And of those 3 times, I stayed sick each time for a single day. And by that I mean I only felt sick and I only felt like bad and horrible for a single day.
Oh, for only a single day?
Yes. The other days it was just like, okay, well, I'm not 100%, like I'm 95%. And then one day would come and I'd be like, I hate it. And then suddenly a day later it would go away, right? And that happened 3 times. On the third time, I also was due for like a full physical, like a checkup. So I went up to like a clinic and I was like, hey doc, how's it going? And he checked me and he asked me like, hey, so how are you with like sickness and whatnot? And I told him that. And he's like, he was an Armenian man, an Armenian doctor. And he was like, my friend, how often do you get sick? Right? And I'm like, oh, well, and then I told him what I just told you. And he's like, I see. You have what I call third world country immune system. I was like, what? What does that mean? And he's like,
Is that an official medical diagnosis?
It means that what normally affects Americans doesn't affect you. And I was like, what? And he's like, no, you're just used to worse stuff than Americans. Your immune system is just like calibrated higher. It's just stronger than Americans. I was like, okay. And since then, it has been proven right repeatedly. Because every time that Emmy and her family catch something, or every time that I'm somewhere where other people get sick and whatnot, it just doesn't affect me. I never get sick. So I'm very grateful for it.
That's fair. I mean, I think I have something similar to that, where I used to be pretty active as a kid, so
Yeah.
I'd be like outside late at night, so mosquitoes would bite me all the time, and I would play in like gecko shit.
Yeah. Oops.
It was like, yes, I would get like a lot of bacterial stuff.
Right. And you just developed a tolerance to it over time.
Yeah, I would feel like sick for a little bit, but then I would like walk it off.
Yeah.
Essentially. And there was actually a scientific article that you should probably let your kids like play outside and get sick.
If you don't let them get sick, they'll never develop resistance to anything. And this is before.
Yeah, it's not the herd immunity.
This is no anti-vax shit. This is essentially just saying, listen.
Vaccinate your kids, folks.
Yes, but kids will get sick here and there.
Do both. You can do both.
Yes. Vaccinate your kids. I'm fully vaccinated since I was a baby. I've taken every shot that was required of me and that was optional. I'm as healthy as a horse because of that.
Oh, here's a funny story.
Tell me.
When I first flown over to the mainland, we got a physical, and it's just like, okay, have you ever had chickenpox before? And I was like, no. Nobody has ever gotten chickenpox when I was growing up in Hawaii. It's like, okay, curious. So we're just gonna give you a chickenpox vaccine, and it's going to give you chickenpox, and you're just going to be sick with chickenpox.
Yeah, okay.
So they just injected me with like a chickenpox strand, and literally the day after, I just got knocked out. I was just really sick. And I couldn't even do anything, and I was just like itching all over, and it was probably one of the worst experiences out there. But it was extremely good for me.
Yes.
Because if I didn't get sick with chickenpox,
I don't think I ever got
older.
I don't think I ever got chickenpox growing up.
Yeah. Well, you probably got like vaccinated for it.
Oh yeah, 100%. If it's a thing that affects children, I got vaccinated with it. My mom was very, very diligent with that.
I don't know if is chickenpox a thing in Brazil?
Oh yeah, sarampo.
It's not a thing in Hawaii.
We call it.
People in Hawaii did not get chickenpox.
Yeah, no, we call it sarampo.
Oh.
Which I think is like the French way of saying it, but we just have a different pronunciation for it.
There's also no Lyme disease in Hawaii either, because there's no ticks.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, I don't think we have Lyme's disease in Brazil, but we do have other types of tick-related diseases. I know that there's one which you get from something called the assassin bug. And it's horrible. Essentially what it does, it gives you leptospirosis. And leptospirosis, let me tell you, is fucking fatal. What it does is this bug, right? It lives in houses that are constructed of straw and mud. So very rudimentary houses. The northeast of the country is extremely poor. Used to be more poor than it is now, thanks to the leftist policies that Lula and PT implemented, but more so back in the day. And what happens is the bug crawls on your face while you're sleeping, and it bites you, right? Now that by itself doesn't transmit the disease. What happens is after it bites you and sucks your blood, it poops. And in the poop,
oh my god,
there's the disease. And if you, while you're asleep, if you scratch your face due to the bite, you have a chance of infecting your wounds with the poop. And if that happens, you now have a disease that will cause your heart to grow in size to the point where it becomes ineffective at pumping blood and you die from heart failure.
Oh my, from bug poop.
A single bug biting your face, pooping on it, and you putting that poop in the wound. And we learn about this in like elementary school. Or middle school, I should say.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking nuts.
That's honestly worse than the banana slug stuff that was going around in like...
Banana slug?
Yeah, no, so...
Tell me about that.
In Hawaii, I remember one of my mom's friends saying, it's like, oh yeah, if you buy anything organic, make sure to like watch it 3 times over. Because there was there was an infestation of banana slugs.
Okay.
And these particular banana slugs secreted a slime that does neurological damage to your spinal cord.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
so it's one of those like it's one of those like by accident. Those slugs didn't evolve to cause that to people. They just it just so happens that that substance causes neurological damage.
It's either that or it's like bacteria in the slime that like does something to like your nervous system.
Yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it.
But it was like a strain of that going around, and this thing like proliferated everywhere. It was like on every single farm, on every single like piece of produce.
Jesus Christ,
like,
man!
It was everywhere. So it's just like you know you gotta make sure to wash your if you buy organic, if you buy local from Hawaii, make sure wash the vegetables like 3 times over. My mom was like, okay, no, we're not buying anything local today. We're not buying anything local on this trip.
Jesus,
like,
that's nuts.
I'm not dealing with that. No.
It's fucking nuts. Yeah, we've had, dengue outbreaks over the years. When I was a kid, one of the biggest things that would always be pervasive, like it was everywhere, whenever, like it was like a huge government initiative against the dengue mosquito while we were developing the vaccine. There was a huge outbreak. It was really, really, really bad, especially for children, because the mosquito, well, mosquitoes in general, they multiply with still water, like stationary water.
Yeah.
So
you can't have like cups of water or like puddles.
Right. So
or else it'll have mosquitoes. Yeah.
So the big thing that they would tell us to do was, hey, if you find any like vases, like plant vases or flower pots, make sure that you don't have like a little cup on the bottom to catch the water. Let the water flow out, because if you do, the water will be stagnant, and that'll cause mosquitoes to lay their eggs there, and that'll cause an outbreak. So growing up in Brazil in the late 90s, early 2000s, you would have seen little signs about dengue fucking everywhere. And it worked because now not only do we have a very good vaccine against it, but outbreaks can still happen in less developed areas of the country, which is extremely unfortunate.
Yeah.
But the universal health system that we have, like, I think we've had maybe 12 deaths in the past 10 years,
Yeah.
which is insane for like an
Pretty sure
endemic,
that- yeah.
an endemic and recurrent outbreak of a virus, you know, through mosquitoes.
Yeah. Well, there's also like cheap alternatives as well to medicine, like mosquito nets that are like really,
Oh, yeah.
really cheap.
It helps, but not in Brazil, man. There's no way to keep away from
Yeah, no,
mosquitoes
it
at all
definitely
times.
It doesn't help in Hawaii either. We
Yeah.
had like a similar thing. I think there was a Nile virus outbreak in Hawaii once.
Right.
Uh,
I've
Like yeah, you gotta be careful of Nile virus and as soon as like we got into the hotel and I slept in the morning, I just saw like red bumps all over my legs, and I'm just like, oh, fuck.
that fucking sucks.
I don't think I got Nile virus. It's like, yeah, no, it's
What does the Nile virus do again? I don't think I ever read
really
into
don't
it.
want to look up because I am a
Hypochondriac?
Yeah, I'm a hypochondriac, so I freak out whenever I start reading symptoms about diseases that I may or may have gotten.
Right.
No, but how we dealt with mosquitoes when every time it rained, and it rained like almost every single day.
Right, yeah. It's
We
why.
have to like, if we had like any plates or like pots or like bowls or buckets outside, we have to flip them, so that it wouldn't accumulate a lot of water, so that mosquitoes wouldn't grow there.
Northeast.
Yeah, mosquitoes were like a really huge problem. We let geckos and spiders hang around our house because those were like the biggest defense against
Yeah.
mosquitoes out there.
Do geckos transmit any diseases?
Not that I know of, although they poop a lot, like everywhere.
Yeah. So if they were to transmit diseases, it'd be easy.
Oh, if they were to transmit diseases, I probably would have gotten something like 10 times over, because I used to play and also like put my fingers on the gecko poop and then my fingers in my mouth.
Oh no. As children do. As children do.
I definitely would have gotten something.
Right. Jeez.
Yeah, I think I got like a stomach bug from like the bacteria from mosquito.
Okay. Yeah.
Probably most more than likely. But again, it was like just a day of me feeling a little bit queasy.
Sure. Yeah. Could be a lot worse.
Or yeah. I used to do a lot. I used to play outside as a kid, especially late at night, and then I would just be absolutely like bitten by mosquitoes to the
Yeah.
point where mosquito bites wouldn't even affect me anymore. Like they just wouldn't be itchy.
See, my mom, what would happen would be that in the middle of the night, I would wake my mom up and I'd be like, "Mom, I got mosquitoes." She would come into my room, groggy as hell, half asleep, and she would grab a pillow, and she would just fucking like, wham, just throw the fucking pillows up into the ceiling, and just kill mosquitoes like that.
She like Mr. Miyagi is that like?
Oh, she would 100% just grab mosquitoes out of the air with her whole palm and like hold it closed and like tighten it a little bit just to make sure that she got them. Let alone the clapping, because the claps that she would do, if it didn't if it didn't catch the mosquito, just the shock wave would send them like tumbling down still alive, but like disoriented for a little bit.
Yeah, I've grown accustomed.
My mom was a fucking badass.
Yeah. My mom and my dad sometimes, like especially when it got really bad in the summer, you'd hear like claps all over, like.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
the biggest thing my mom was absolutely terrified of, and it's just like we could not have this in the house, was something called a B-52. Now,
I'm sorry?
B-50, yeah, so B-52
Need an MG at this place.
are essentially really big cockroaches. They're
Oh.
really big cockroaches that are native to Hawaii. And
Right, the hissing
and
ones?
they're so loud that they sound like bombers. So the locals would call them, oh yeah, those are just the B-52s flying overhead.
Jesus Christ, dude. It's fucking
Yeah, no, so
terrifying.
they're really big.
I fucking hate cockroaches. Like I'm the first
No,
one to
they're big,
admit
and they're
the second I see a cockroach, I do the stereotypical like climb on top of a chair, get me the fuck away from this thing. Like it's just such a genuine like disgust reaction that I cannot I can barely kill them. Like they fucking like I know they can't bite me. I know they won't do shit.
yeah.
They're just gross and I can't be near them.
Yeah, no, it's like we were
Smelly.
slobs. We like lived in a
Yeah.
relatively like really clean house, but when I would like go to like get some water like at night and I like turn on the lights, I see like at least 3 B-52s like scatter around like trying to find a
Jesus.
dark place.
Yeah,
Honestly,
no.
it's not really that bad. Like I used to be more afraid of the like the male mosquitoes.
The hawks.
Uh,
Well, no, there are mosquito hawks that eat mosquitoes.
no, it's the male mosquitoes. So they're like really big, like puffballs.
Okay.
But they don't suck your blood. They
Right,
go for
yeah.
Fruit.
They're gross. So they
Yeah,
deserve
no,
death.
It's, there's like sometimes where I thought that there was like something out of the corner of my eye. It's like, oh yeah, there's like some black fuzzy thing in the corner of my eye, and they're just like big little black balls that are just sticking on the wall. And
Jeez.
it's like, oh shit. They look big and intimidating, but they're actually just like big
Yeah.
fuckers.
It's like bumblebees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to be terrified of bees when I was a kid.
There's another heavy
I
tank
once-
going down that main road.
I once
Living in
cried.
LA, it's a bit of a challenge.
I once cried because I was like in recess and I was hanging out with a bee, and the bee wasn't doing anything bad. I just had like a tiny little Coke, like a little bottle of Coke. And we called those pichulas or pichulinhas, and I had a little bottle of Coke, and it was open, and the cap had some Coke on it. So the bee was like, "Ah, hell yeah, sugar water," and the bee was just hanging out, just drinking some sugar water before heading out. And one of my bullies just decided, hey, fuck that bee and fuck you. So they killed the bee and I started crying.
Oh.
Fucking hated my bullies when I was a kid, man. I don't even know where they ended up. Like, you know how like bullied kids like to go and try to see what happened to their bullies and see if they're doing all right or badly and just have a little bit of a laugh at it. I didn't even I don't know what happened to any of them. I still know their names, like full names. And should I say them out loud here? I don't know if I should.
Yeah. Whatever. It's your
I won't. Fuck it. I'll be the
I know
bigger person.
I wouldn't necessarily say he was a bully back in Hawaii.
Was he just
like
an
he was-
asshole?
I think he was like kind of like a dick. But he was his first name was Keola, and I
Keola?
remember asking-
Like-
Keola, yeah.
Okay. I have a cousin called Keoma.
Well, it's he was a native kid as well.
Right.
Or like actually native, like indigenous.
I see.
But, I asked like what exactly he was doing now, and it's like, oh yeah, one of the teachers was like, oh yeah, I know about Keola. He's like, he was running a surfboard rental at during like for his like summer trip.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fun.
He works at like a wildlife like reservation place.
Ah,
Which is,
shit.
you know, that's
Good for him, man.
yeah. It's like, oh, that's great.
My
One of
old
my best friends actually went to Baltimore to culinary school and then came back. to-
One second.
Like,
Enemy supplies dropping northwest of Chapel. 352. Go on.
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
fighting
no,
a
so
few guys
he
over
went
there
to
if
Baltimore
it's the
for
one next to me.
culinary school and then came back to Hawaii to take like all of his skills to run a food truck.
Ah,
Yeah.
well, that's fun.
Yeah, no, it's pretty good. I wonder how well he's doing. I know like the food truck business didn't exactly go too well.
No,
Uh,
it was
that's-
great in
that's-
2015.
Yeah, no, that's a cutthroat business. Although I think he is working. He's working some. I think he's doing like working in a restaurant that like helps, or like part of
Got, like,
proceeds
maybe a
go
whole
to help like
squad.
indigenous islanders like getting
Like
housing
3
and
or 4
whatnot.
guys.
Which is, you know, really good. Sorry.
Yeah, I had 3 really good friends when I was a kid. One of them was my best friend, and then there were twins. My best friend was called Julio, so Jiulio, and then I had 2 friends, Felipe and Pedro. They were twins. Felipe was
That is the most stereotypical, like, sounding name.
It's a break.
Felipe and Pedro.
Sorry, it's just like when
I mean,
I think
it
of,
is a
like,
achievement, but-
childhood friends from Brazil. It's like, it's just like if you want me to like name up like 2 Brazilian kids like on the spot for like a narrative project, I would think like Felipe and Pedro. That's
Yeah.
my go-to.
I get it. It was Julio, Felipe, and Pedro, and Rodrigo, obviously. And then there was a kid called Arthur. But the thing about us was that Arthur and I were so similar in both appearance and like personality that we never got along.
Woof.
We got along a few times, you know, like on and off. But I liked Julio. I liked Julio more than the others. And Julio was like the one blonde kid in the school. So Felipe and Pedro, I'm pretty sure the 2 of them, like, I think Felipe became like a doctor, I want to say. He was like the whiz of the group. He was so fucking smart. Pedro was more the people person. He was more meek, like kinder, like nicer kid, sort of just kept to his own. Julio was super charismatic. He was the quote unquote leader of the group.
Yeah, the honey tongue.
Yeah, I was I was there.
You're the muscle. Obviously.
No, I was there.
Moral support.
Arthur was also there. And I'm pretty sure Julio started doing like finances or something. Arthur for a while did like kart racing, which is pretty insane to me. He did kart racing for a while, and I'm pretty sure then he did marketing. In Brazil, when you don't know what to do, you go for marketing or administration, which is like learning how to run a business. So those are like if you don't know what you're doing, pick
Definitely
one of
go-to.
these. Yeah.
I mean, it's the same. Although in Hawaii, it was always like, well, you could always go to the ROTC.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. I think. Okay, so one of my bullies, and I call him bully with parentheses because I get it. And
That's the guy that gave you a hard time.
No, but it's not that. It's just I get it. He was the one black kid in our class.
Oh.
And his name was Guilherme. He was adopted. And later in life, and by that I mean like a few months ago, or maybe a year ago, he sent me a message. And he was like, "Hey man, how you doing?" And I was like, "Hi, Guilherme, are you alright? What's up, man? Can I help you with anything?" And he's like, "Nah, man, I just wanted to send you a message and say like, dude, I'm sorry. I used to be a really angry kid. I don't know if you know, but like I suffered really, really bad racism in school and I didn't know how to deal with it. So I kind of took it out on you because you were white and you were defenseless." And I was like, "Shit, man. Okay. I'm really sorry that you went through that, and I forgive you, and also I get it, so I don't think you should apologize to me after all this time. It's okay."
Last point.
And he was like, "Yeah, no, but like, I don't know, man. I still wanted to apologize." I was like, "Okay, no worries." I believe he went into, he became a dentist because his mother was a dentist as well. And she was my dentist, which we used to make the joke that he breaks my teeth, she repairs them. But
Nice.
he was really strong. He was like crazy strong. This kid was like bigger than everybody else. And I remember that there was like one summer where he was really nice to me all of a sudden. And after that, we never talked again. but also we never like argued, we never fought again, like he never beat me up again. So I think something happened then that changed him, or like I don't know. And then there was Luca, who was this he was like a strawberry blonde with green eyes kid. Really slimy, really like the kind of kid that you would look like.
You can't can't trust strawberry blondes.
You would just look at him and be like, okay, this is like a kid that's a villain in a movie, right?
Yeah.
He was really skinny, loved playing football, was good at it, and he just hated my fucking guts for some reason. And he was just so mean to me every chance he got. And granted, I was a glasses wearing, bowl cut having, Pokemon loving, anime watching nerd. Okay, like
Oh, everybody watched anime in Brazil.
if you liked Pokemon after 12 years old or anime after 12 years old, at least in my school, you were a dumbass and a dipshit, and the R word, which they used very liberally at the time, and so did I, but different language, also different connotation, different time. But I'm not about to use it right now to say what they said.
Yeah, no. TOS.
It was him, and he was really good friends with a Lucas. So his name was Luca, and he was friends with a kid called Lucas, who wasn't that bad of a bully, but they had a third friend called Andre, and he was the son of, I want to say, a Portuguese grammar teacher, and he was such a fucking dick, man. Like, holy shit. And he was like the first one to hit puberty, so he was stronger than everybody else. You know, like, he would make fun of everyone because like, oh, your dick is really small. It's like, I'm 11. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. And it's like, oh, your dick is small. So, and granted, my penis was tiny. I was a child. So, nah, man, shit back then was, I hated it. I hated it so much. It was a time that, like, everybody talks about, like, oh, school is great, and it's, like, the best time of your life. And it's like, fuck you. Fuck you.
It isn't. It's definitely one of your formative, it's, like, the most, like, formative time of
The worst part of it is that once we hit 6th grade, Pedro, Felipe, and Julio all moved away. They all moved away, but they all moved away to the same place, and they went to the same school. So they left me and Arthur behind. Because here's the thing. Everyone wanted Julio to be their best friend, right? But I was Julio's best friend. Which means that I was essentially bulletproof from the bullies whenever Julio was around, because no one wanted to get on his bad side, because everyone wanted to be his friend. So whenever Julio was around, I was safe, right? And he felt safe with me because he used to have severe panic attacks whenever he was away from home, and he was never able to sleep at any other friends' homes. But my home, he was able to sleep at. He would never have panic attacks there, so I became his best friend. And he was my best friend. I was his best friend. And everyone wanted him to be their best friends. So they both hated me because I was Julio's best friend, and they loved Julio. So it was this whole weird web of shit that I had to deal with. Apart from the fact that I was a nerd, I had to deal with the fact that everyone wanted my friend to be theirs and not mine. Which is like the silliest child thing in the world.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't experience a lot of that in Hawaii.
I hated it.
I think it like has to do with like upbringing as well, considering the fact that Hawaii is very like, in a sense where like all of the adults are uncles and aunties, and all of your peers are cousins.
Right.
Like
so
that.
cousin is like it's like a saying, right? Calling everyone cousin.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you know, it's just like, shakabra, because, you know, like, they'll say that to people even though they don't actually really.
Right.
It's just like sort of the atmosphere that we all grew up. So
That's nice.
There's like kids that like give each other a hard time, and
right.
like, you know, some girls would like bully boys, and then it's like, oh, she likes you, and like of course the other way around. That was just like normal kid stuff. Where was I gonna go with this? I completely lost my train of thought. Yeah, no, so there wasn't necessarily like any bullying like that, but as soon as I came to the States, oh god, did the interpersonal relationships of drama just like started to form
Jesus
in, and
Christ.
it's just like
What? Okay, so
I couldn't keep up. It's like, wait, are you like this person now, but this person did this, and so you don't like them? Like,
it's so
what is
dumb.
going
It's
on?
so dumb. And movies only exacerbated it because everyone wanted to emulate that. Everyone wanted to emulate what they saw in the movies, and even in Brazil that happened too. So even though like a year ago there were like the popular kids weren't a thing, now because you saw a movie where that's a thing, it is a thing. And arbitrarily this person is now popular and this person isn't. It was just the most annoying thing in the world, you know. And it's I don't know if I talked to you about mongrel syndrome. Have I?
No, you have not.
So
That's a new term for me.
so Brazilians are extremely xenophilic.
Right.
You know, we're known for being very warm, you know, foreigner loving people. We're very open, we're very warm, we're very like welcoming. And that's a good thing. I firmly believe that that's an amazing thing.
It's a bit similar to like Hawaii, but
Right. But our culture of hospitality, you know, has always been a thing. The problem is that after the 40s, we developed what I call, and I'm pretty sure it's an actual thing, we developed something called mongrel syndrome, which is everything that comes from Brazil is bad and inferior to everything that comes from outside, specifically America, right?
So yeah, it's like it's a reverse like national fixation thing.
Yes,
going on.
literally.
Like the opposite of like Brazilian exceptionalism.
Yes, it's Brazilian inferiority complex. I call it mongrel syndrome because we see ourselves as mongrels and everything that comes from outside is superior.
What the
So
hell did I come into?
oh, I'm just explaining like
We're just shooting the shit about what we did when like we were growing up as kids.
yeah.
Because I have like he grew up in a third world, and I feel like I grew up in like a pseudo third world where it's just like I lived in a first world country, but it
Yeah.
felt a lot like being in a third world.
I mean, Sam, I grew up in a ghetto.
Well, yeah, I mean, I grew up on Hawaii, and the first religion I ever learned of is like Buddhism before Christianity. So it's like it's very different than like the mainstream like Hawaiian sort of thing. Yeah, there's a walking
What, if you
Shinto
don't mind me
gate.
asking?
Oahu.
Oahu.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Oh yeah, no, that's right. I have to. Speaking of which, sorry, I had to take a track. There was a fire in Maui.
Yes, I saw it.
I have to talk to one of my uncles, not related uncle.
Sure.
Uncle, like
Yeah, uncle is in the term.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
Tio.
his village that he grew up in is just like completely engulfed. Like,
Oh,
it's gone.
fuck's
Like,
sake,
absolutely
man.
gone.
As an aside, Seeker, join the server. Now's the time.
It's not installed.
What? All right. Well, I have done one game, Hell Let Loose, so I can stop streaming. But what do you have installed? Because I'll start a new stream just to play a game with you.
Just for you.
Just for you.
Oh, I have to update Hell Let Loose. Rip.
I mean, let's see, I got. I kind of got like a weird array of shit going on here.
Okay.
Oh yeah, he
like-
doesn't have BattleBit.